And now it's time for the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Head Coaches Show with Zack Hudson. Coach, back-to-back losses. First time in a long time here in Howe. It's been over 2 years to be exact. Good Van Alstyne team. The rivalry situation, were there any unexpected emotions after the game from the kids?
No, it's our kids aren't used to losing, and so they're gonna struggle when you lose. And we did some things good enough to win that game, and then had some costly turnovers, and at the same time had some costly mistakes on defense that couldn't get us off the field. And that's one of those things. We've stopped every team on third down 60% or more all season, and it was 20% Friday night. And so we've got to do a better job on third down if we're going to get off that field. And but the emotions, on a game that's 7 miles away is going to be high, and there's going to be a letdown. But you could feel the atmosphere. We never really could get that momentum, and I think they were more upset about that they never really. It never felt like they were in the game, even though we were winning most of it. So, it's kind of one of those odd feeling games that it's hard to put your finger on the emotion part of it. But it was an odd feeling for everybody a little bit.
You had two superb offenses going at each other all night long, and it just seemed like it was going to come down to who made the stop. And it just, unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they made the stop on that 4th and 3. Talk about that.
Well, we had before the half, we had a penalty that cost us, a 42-yard pass, and just did things like that. And during a game of that nature, you need a break, and they got a break, and we didn't. And they snapped the ball over the punter's head. They get it and kick a 25-yard punt. Could not buy a break, and we had a return instead of a block on at the time. And so it was just one of those nights that every time something happened, we couldn't find that break. And we got the one fumble recovery on the one drive to put us in some good field position. But after that, it was just we had to earn everything. And so just one of those nights.
I am not Chris Wallace, and I don't go seeking the tough questions, but I did have people asked me to ask this question this week. With a second left before the half, did you consider the field goal?
Not at 47 yards. There's Division I's out there that don't kick 47-yard field goals for a reason. The ball comes off the kicker's foot at a low trajectory. With 1 second left before half, if you kick a ball and they block it, you have nobody back there to tackle, and they can score a touchdown. And the play was called to throw it in the corner of the end zone. The quarterback ended up throwing in the middle of the field, and which you don't want to do. But it's one of those things that 17-year-old kids, and they're going to make mistakes, and he'll never do it again. And he'll learn from that, just not throwing in the middle of the field. But that was the only mistake that was made in that whole deal. I thought with one timeout left, with the amount of time that was on the clock, it was a 4th down, so we had to wait till 1 second so they didn't get the ball back. I thought it was, played the best that we could have done in the situation we were in, and we threw it to a different guy than we had planned on. But other than that, the situation was done. But a 47-yard field goal at a half, it might have been different at the end of a game when that's the only, thing. But percentage-wise, if you go back and look at percentages, there's no comparison on percentages of throwing a 45-yard pass compared to a 47-yard field goal. So.
All right, let's take a quick timeout. We'll be back after this quick break from Douglas Propane.
They came out exactly the day and time that they said they would be here. And they sent out a young fellow by the name of Barry, who was a really nice guy, very helpful. And he's been out a couple of times since then and taken care of some issues for us. And everybody that I've dealt with up there were really good to do business with, and I've enjoyed that.
All right, Coach, right in the thick of district play now, a big emotional game, and we talked a little bit about letdown after the Van Alstyne game. Do you see that during the week? Are the kids fine? Are they back to normal?
Well, that's yeah, they're a little bit back to normal, but we kind of have some even kill type kids this year. But our leadership is going to dictate how we come out and play in this game. How hard we play. I shouldn't say it ever dictates who wins or loses, but how hard you play in a game and things of that nature. But they're coming off a very odd loss, and so I hope that once Friday comes around that there's a different kind of focus going on, and because we're going to need that. And defensively lined up wrong so many times, and it's one of those things that you never know why they do it, and sometimes I don't think they can pinpoint of why they do it. And so coming to this game, they're going to have to make sure we're lined up right every time, and we don't have we can't use like 10 timeouts a half, just to line us up right. So sometimes you got to let those things go and hope it doesn't kill you, and they understand that, and they got to come out here and play. And this district, the way it's unfolded and the way it's kind of gone, people trying to make sense of it, you better show up every Friday night, because if you don't, you're going to get beat. And I don't think that we've had that challenge since I've been here. If there was a couple Friday nights that, if you didn't play your best game, you could have won the last couple of years. But if you don't show up any Friday night in this district, you're going to get beat. And so, that's kind of our challenge right now.
Whitesboro's 2-5 on the year, not your typical 2-5 at all. They've played some really tough competition, as have you. They beat Van Alstyne. I guess that says one thing, but they lost to Pilot Point. So do you have a grasp on really who they are? Do you think they know who they are at this point?
They didn't show up one week and they showed up the other week. It's one of those districts, and Pilot Point. It seemed like at the beginning of the year they were struggling. They got a lot of young kids. And it's kind of like we were a couple years ago. They got a lot of sophomores playing out there, and even a couple of freshmen. Well, as the season goes on, they're getting better, and so they're starting to kind of hit their stride. And so you can't really look at the first couple of games that they struggled in. And then with Whitesboro, they're notorious for playing really good at the end of the season. And they go 2-8, make the playoffs one year, and go 3 rounds deep, just because they were hitting their stride at the right time. And so we got to get in our stride, and we can't worry so much about what everybody else is doing. We've kind of taken our offense and our defense and we toned it down a little bit and said we're just going to have to play tough football and get after you, and let the kids be comfortable, line up right, and let's go. So but you better show up every Friday night, and teams are always going to have highs and lows throughout a season, each and every week, just by stuff that happens during the week. And there's always distractions, and we had half our kids missing from practice yesterday. I mean, there's a distraction every time you turn around, and so they have to fight through all that. And usually teams who fight through it and focus more and get it done, come out the winner in this type district.
What are the keys to victory tonight?
Well, we got to hang on football, and we got to win that battle. We got to get off the field on third down defense, and our offense, as long as, that front can take care of, their front four, we'll be fine. And we're going to have over 300 yards. Every time we can take care of those front four, we have over 300 yards. That's a big key, to take care of their front. And defensively, we got to line up right and be where we're supposed to be. And our kids play great football when they're where they're supposed to be, but they struggle when they're not there. So, one of those things where the focus got to be there, and at the same time, we have to show up and play, because there's no Friday night you can take off or not mentally be all there, because everybody's gunning for you, because there ain't so many playoff spots. So it's going to be a tight race, and we're all going for it.
You've been listening to the Douglas Propane Howe Bulldogs Coaches Show with Zack Hudson.